So you want to get a WordPress website, but you're not completely sure what the total requirement is going to be, what I'm going to need, or how the process or steps are. So let's quickly go into it, and I'm going to go through like common process or common steps that I do. So how about we just get started? So this is my website and it is created completely with WordPress, and I've created over like 100 websites. So let's quickly get started and see. I also have a page, so if you go to this and click recommended, it shows all my recommended hosting, page builders and stuff. And this will give you like a quick understanding of what I prefer, but it's your choice whether you want to use this or not. And I'm also creating this blog post so that you can simply go there and look at it every single time you create it in case you miss something. It's still ongoing, so I haven't added the images and stuff, but let's quickly get started. So the first thing is we need a domain and hosting. So what's basically is a domain is it's simply this thing. So you can see my name is not my name, my website name is DMmotionarts.com, and that is the domain name. And this is something any visitor will use to connect to your website. And this is something that every website requires, that is domain and hosting. So hosting is basically a server which works like 24/7 so that your website can be accessed by anyone anytime. And the one thing that you could obviously do is you could just use your computer and then host it, but then you will need to keep it 24/7. You will need to protect it from hackers. You will need to do maintenance. You will need to do like lots of other stuff like backups, and any electricity issue if you have or stuff like that would just mess it up. So it's just better to get a hosting. And again, if you go here, you could see that I prefer Hostinger, but it is your preference, and all the links are in description, and that way you could support me by just clicking the links or just going into here and clicking the links. And this site also is hosted on Hostinger simply because it provides like where is it? I haven't written it or not, I'm not sure. So I wrote here like a good hosting requires frequent backups, but Hostinger provides like daily backups. So if you go around here in the hosting section, you could see that there are multiple plans. This is in rupees, so it might be different for whichever country you are from. And if you go from like this plan, it gives you like free domain for the first year. So here you could see. And another thing is it's always good to get like a good hosting so that your website loads fast, your website doesn't have any issues, no hacking and stuff, and Hostinger does all that. But if you have a higher budget, I would suggest going for WP Engine. It's like $20 per month, but Hostinger is like $5 or $6 per month, I think. It's different for me because it's in rupees, but it would be different like $4 or $5 per month for you guys. But WP Engine is like $20 per month and it's very fast, but that is also because the price is higher. Now let's say that you actually got domain already. So for example, some people might have domain already. If you don't have, you could just skip to the next part, which is the third part. But if you have already gotten a domain from somewhere else and you're probably using it for your email or something, and you are actually planning to buy hosting or somewhere else, then you will need to do something called name server setup or DNS setup. And basically what it is if you go into your domain purchased, wherever you have purchased the domain, there will be a name server section, and you will need to just point, or you will just need to like change this one. So yeah, you could just not type anything, but every hosting has their own name servers. So you will need to copy those hosting. For example, if you have hosting on Hostinger, but your domain is on Namecheap or GoDaddy, then you will need to go into your domain registrar, which is Namecheap for me. Go into name servers. Everyone have like different location, but all of them have same name, which is name servers. And here you will need to type the name server of your hosting. So whichever your hosting's name server will be, you'll need to copy it and basically just search for it like Hostinger name servers or wherever you WP Engine name servers, and then paste it and then to like save. It will take like 24 to 48 hours to actually propagate it. Usually it happens less than 24 hours and sometimes it happens like instantly. And a faster way to check if propagation is done or not is you could use the VPN to wherever your hosting is located. For example, when you get a hosting from Hostinger and you do like the first setup, you have to select a server location, because obviously you cannot have server in like multiple locations. But you could choose like a server location wherever your target audience is. So for me, let's say the target audience is in US and Hostinger has a server in US. I will select US, and then when I try to check if the propagation is done or not, I will simply use my VPN to US and check if my propagation is done. It doesn't always work, but it's like a good trick sometimes to see if the propagation is happening or not, in case your website is not loading even after like changing name servers. So the next step is installing WordPress. Now every hosting has their own panel. Usually it's called cPanel. Hostinger have their own called hPanel, but majority of them would have cPanel. But if you're using hPanel, you simply can just go to your domain, go into auto installer, select WordPress and then install it. It's like same steps. You just need to find where your WordPress installer is, and it's just proceeding with, you don't need to click WooCommerce, just click WordPress and do next with whatever the details that you have to add. Just make sure that in username you don't add the default admin, you add something else, and in the password you use a good password, and I'll explain to you in the security section in this video. Now to log into your WordPress, all you simply need to do is type your URL. For example, it is affiliate.dmotion.com. for me, I'll just type /wp-admin. And this also comes with an issue that just because every WordPress website has /wp-admin as their admin login page or login URL, anyone can just come and type /wp-admin and then they could try to access your dashboard. So just go to the security section or watch the security section to know how you can fix this. Once you're in your WordPress, the first initial step that you need to do is you need to go into pages and create add new like this, and create like a home page or whatever you want to call it, and click publish. Once you publish it, it will be shown around here. So you could say it shows home and then blog. So you have to create two pages, home and blog. Blog is only necessary if you wish to have a blog, but if not, just add a home. But still make sure you add a blog page, usually because WordPress by default have a blog page, because it was created for blog posts and rather not for a website, but now it can be used for anything. Once you created like home and blog page, go to your settings, go to your reading and go click static page, and here you select which your home page is. What this will do is, let's say if I click on your latest post and if I go to my website, it will load you my blog post like this. So it will say first post, second post, third post. I don't want it. I want to be a static page. So I'll just select my home page and then I select what my post page is and then save it. You don't need to add content anytime soon. You just need to make sure you add 2 pages and then publish it, and then I've already added content so it shows around here. But basically home and blog page you need to show. Then you go to permalinks and here you choose post name. And why you do this is, if you go to this page, you see how it shows it shows this URL, but we don't want that. We want it to show something like this. You see /DMmotion recommended WordPress product. So we simply call it as post name, and it will just show that name rather than this page number. Then we install our desired theme. All we simply do is go into our appearance, themes, and click add new. If you have purchased a premium theme, then you will need to download it and then basically click on upload and upload it. But if you are using the free theme, which I use like Ocean WP, or I choose Astra, or if you have Elementor Pro, you use Hello Elementor, stuff like this. You could do that. I've also have, like, if you go into themes, see I have Ocean WP, Astra and Hello Elementor as my preferred themes. You could click on those links in recommended. Where did we go? And then simply just click install, install and then activate. And I have a whole video on YouTube which compares Ocean WP and Astra theme. So you could see which one prefers or which one you prefer. Like Ocean WP and Astra are multi-purpose theme. So you could just create any type of website that you want. Because there are some websites which are only for specific purposes, like only for real estate people or only for car people or car rental people. But Ocean WP, Astra, these are multi-purpose themes. So it allows you, or it has multiple options and customizability to change it to however your requirement is. Once you have installed your theme, we are going to install our plugins. Simply just go into plugins and add new. And here you would install like any plugin that you want. And plugin are basically a way to extend the functionality that WordPress provides. So by default, WordPress is limited, and the way we add our preferred functionality is by adding plugins. Again, if you want to check my desired plugins, you could go in plugins and check it, the one that I use. Then we have page builder plugin. Now this is optional, but even though I say optional, you will probably need to do it like 100% of the time. So we will simply, in the plugin, if you type for Elementor, you can see there is an plugin called Elementor, which is a page builder plugin. And you could click in the link in description to get the pro version, but there's also free version, and I've made like lots of website with free version too. But the pro version just gives you much more functionality. It allows you to do lots of stuff or lots of functionality that normally requires like multiple plugins. You could just do it with one plugin, like adding a form or adding like fonts and stuff, and creating the whole website. And every single website that I've made from my web development journey has been made with Elementor page builder. So it is a must plugin for me. And here you could see, if I go into my like Elementor, you could see that it allows you to create like this like drag and drop builder. It allows you to change however you want. I have full tutorial on Elementor on how you can make websites with it. And it basically just replaces the WordPress block editor with this one. It allows you to create like any website. And if you even go to my website, you see Elementor templates. You could get Elementor templates so that you don't need to start from scratch. Next step is SMTP setup. And SMTP setup is something that you will need to do almost like 99% of the time you need to do this. Basically, when you get a hosting, they have their own email service provider. And also, if you go into here, you could see it provides free email. So basically, let's say your website's name is like webbuilder.com. That's your website's domain name. But you are something called John. Your name is John. So you could have your email as john@websitebuilder.com. And those emails are provided by Hostinger. Lots of host providing or hostings don't provide this, so make sure they provide this with your hosting, whichever you prefer. But that's why I suggest getting Hostinger from like the link in description, because it just provides you with everything. And like john@webbuilder.com. And the thing is, your WordPress doesn't know how to communicate with the hosting. So we need to do something called SMTP setup, and each hosting has their own SMTP setups settings. So just search for like Hostinger SMTP setups or WP Engine SMTP setup and just Google it, and they will give you all the details around here. So form, email, form, then make sure you select other SMTP and then add every detail around here. So it's pretty easy to do. It's not like very complicated. There are so many tutorial videos on how to do this, and this would basically connect your WordPress with the email provider that your hosting has provided, and it is must to do, because else if you don't do this, let's say you have a contact form on your page, it would just not work. If someone clicks send, it will not send the message to your email address. Or if you have a WooCommerce website, e-commerce website, and when every time someone does a new order or a payment is done, you will not receive the email of that. So make sure you do SMTP setup always. Next is our security setup, and a must to do. And the plugins that I recommend are Wordfence and all-in-one WP security plugin. And I'm using all-in-one WP security plugin here to showcase, but you could also use Wordfence. Both of them have like similar functionalities, so it's your preference, but I prefer this one. And what you could do is, if you go into if you go into brute force in WP security after installing the plugin, you could select this and then type anything around here. So if I type, let's say not pop-in, but just like random stuff like this, some like Tasio random stuff, it will replace the /WP admin with this one. So now anyone cannot just log into your website by typing /WP admin and then trying every single password. They will need to find this, but again, it's impossible to find if you use like a nice keyword around here, like random letters around here. And that's to save settings. Make sure you like do a backup of your website before doing all this. Next, if you go into WP security and user security, you could do is enable the login lockout function. It's in this panel. and here it says max login attempts. So people can try to add their password 3 times. So this is usually for e-commerce website. They will have like a what you call account panel, right? So they want to check their downloads or orders, and you don't want them to like constantly try different password, because if you don't add a lock-in lockout function, what hackers can do is they can try every single password combination for your WordPress website. So if you do like 3, then anyone who does like 3 attempts, they will be locked out, and there's like allow unlock request. It would just give them an email. So it would say that an email has been sent to your account to do that. You could add a notify email, you could display generic email, and then here you could add invalid usernames. If you go around here, you could see the all invalid usernames that I've added, like admin, user, text, website name. And what this does is whenever someone uses that email while try to log in or tries to add that username, it automatically blocks them. And just do save settings, and I think that's all. And one thing is you need to install WooCommerce for selling physical or digital products. And yeah, that's all. Not anything else, just WooCommerce, and the WooCommerce setup is like much more in details. So you could just watch any tutorial and you will understand it, and that's usually the common steps that I use for creating a WordPress website.